7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hello, and welcome to Depraved Indifference to Intelligent Life. This is my unapologetic podcast. I thought I'd try something a little new, a little different. I don't know if I'm going to make any more of these. It's just I figured I'd see how I feel about doing this sort of thing. Just rambling on about anything and everything. Why not? Other people seem to enjoy doing it. Sadly, it's just me here. I don't really have anybody that can join me for conversations, so that's sort of sad. I wouldn't mind having conversations about these things with other people, but just timing isn't working out. But we'll just dive right into stuff that's kind of interesting. I kind of want to get the serious stuff out of the way first, just because of some of the things that are out there and whatnot that I've seen. Let's see, Peeple. Yes, Peeple. That's the app that is apparently going to be coming out. I believe it's Canadian. A couple of Canadian ladies are the ones that designed it, and everything that I've heard about it, everything that I've read, there's articles out there. I'm sure lots of you have seen them as well, describing it like a Yelp, except for people, where you can actually rate people. And all these articles are making it seem like a horrible thing. Like it's going to be like the downfall of society, or so on and so forth, and how it can ruin people's lives. And I'll get to that in a minute, in my own opinions. But I looked at these articles and I actually decided this was kind of interesting enough to warrant me to go to their actual website. And I noticed right off the bat on their website there was a note up from the CEO, an update, where they basically, it's kind of it read a lot like a rallying cry for all of the people involved in this particular product, this application that they're making. It seemed like they were basically like, don't worry, even though people are being mean to us, we will persevere, blah blah blah. We are innovators, etc., etc. All well and good. That sort of came across to me a bit like a rallying cry, as I said, but also kind of a bit of an immediate knee-jerk reaction, because the first I heard about it, this People app, was with these articles that were being all naysaying. And then I checked on it later that day, and this was already up. So I thought to myself, it's almost like they're jumping a bit too quick to denounce the ones that are saying that their product is going to be a bad thing. And there was a fact, frequently asked questions, FAQ, on their page with, this, that, and the other thing. And I looked through a fair bit of that, especially the parts that were interesting, that were applicable to me, that, other people can get on this app and they can put you don't even have to be on it. They can put you into the app, and so on and so forth, and rate you. And it can be rated in 3 different categories. They've got personal, workplace, and romantic, or dating. So you can be rated on those 3 categories. And I can see how that can be a bad thing, because if you've got bad ratings because there's people that just don't like you for whatever reason, or people that you don't even know that have put these ratings on, I mean, it can negatively impact a life in a variety of ways. I can see how that's a thing. But the more I looked into it, they seem to have already thought of this in a bit, in a way. They've built in safeguards. I believe there's a fact that you actually have to have this person's cell phone number in order to put them into it. And if they're not already a member of it, then they get sent a text message saying, this person has put you in our app. Do you know this person? And you can, if you don't know them, you just say no, and it doesn't go through. And the person that did put you through gets penalized in some fashion for basically trying to put up an app or put somebody into their system that they don't actually know. So they've thought some of this out about safeguards and whatnot. So I'll give them kudos for that. The problem that I have, and the way I see it, is that there is, regardless of whatever good things might be there, this is in no way a good idea on the whole. Uh, you're basically taking a person, whether it's their personal lives, whether it's their professional lives, or even romantically speaking, you're taking these facets of a person's life and boiling it down to, it ends up being an aggregate score from 1 to 5. And that is never a good idea. That just doesn't sit well with me. I don't like generalizing people. Uh, I don't like generalizing any group of people. I prefer to deal with people on a case by case basis, is the best way to put it. I take each person individually. If somebody's not even somebody that doesn't even know me, um, just some random person. I mean, if you're going to be an asshole to me, then you don't even know me. Then, I mean, I'm going to think negatively of you. But that's because we've interacted. What this app will do will be, you could have a negative viewpoint of someone before you've even met them, simply because of their score on the system. You wouldn't think anything of them before you even talked to them, before you even know anything about them. And that I don't like. That is bad news all around. Uh, so yeah, I don't think this Peeple app is going to be a good thing. Um, I can't see it doing well. It might. I don't know. I mean, I can understand rating books, rating movies, rating restaurants and places that you can go, public places. This is all well and good. Yelp is, I don't know, I guess a good thing. It seems like a good idea. But making it for people, I mean, that's murky territory. Uh, so I don't think you should really do that. You might. I don't think they're going to rethink it, because I'm pretty sure they've got the website, and from what it looks, it's coming out in November, so they're fairly far along. But yeah, there should have been some more thought back at the beginning process of this. It's just my opinion. I I could just be a horrible idealist. It just might be. Uh, what other serious things are there out there in the world today? Mm, not a lot. I mean, I've heard lots of things over the past months. Um, Basically from like March, April of this year until now, there's been a lot of stuff going on with people that are involved in feminism, and people that are involved in men's rights, or Meninism, I guess some people call it. And there's a lot of butting heads there. I know there was a huge thing about Mad Max Fury Road when it came out. People were just going crazy about that, saying that they ruined the movie and everything. I still haven't seen it yet. I have it on my shelf. I picked up the Blu-ray. I will be checking it out, and I'm sure I'll find it amazing. Everything I've heard from all kinds of sources and people that I trust and my friends, they've said it's a really good movie. So I think it's good there. But this whole this whole feminism and men's rights and stuff like that, all this anger and this animosity that's out there in the world today, Even so far as to go to the what is it there? The Gamer Gators, I believe. I believe they are the ones. Because they were up here in my hometown, causing some trouble at the entertainment expo that we have here. I heard that there was some issues with them and people involved, and they were kicked out of the expo because they violated the terms and conditions. And there was a huge stink about that. They were saying the expo was censoring them and all this and that. There seems to be a lot of stuff like that. There was even, from what I've read, I actually didn't go to the convention this year. This is the first time I haven't been. Um, just ended up having a bit of con burnout because I've been going steadily for years, and I just didn't feel like going. But I read that there was someone, there's a panel about I can't remember the exact uh, the exact terminology about what the panel was about, but it was, I believe, about women's roles in game design, or women's roles in games. Period. It's something along those lines. It was a very women-oriented panel, very a feminism-oriented panel in a way, from what I understand. And as I understand it from what I've read, someone at this panel, another woman, got up and proclaimed herself a men's rights activist and proceeded to kind of hijack the panel for a good portion of it, to basically disrupting it for everyone involved. Now, this sort of negativity, uh, there in that particular example, and just in general, the negativity of um, feminists and women being negative and angry at men, and men and these men's rights activists being negative and angry towards women. Uh, this whole thing, this whole scenario, it really needs to stop. I'm sorry, not really, but I'm sorry if that offends anybody. But it really does. I understand that there are issues out there. I understand there are problems in society, in the way everything is wired, in the way things are run. I understand that things need to change. Absolutely. I understand all of that. But that's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is the fact that the negativity and the anger and the fighting and the that that primal urge to have to fight tooth and claw and tear down whoever is opposing you. I mean, that is what needs to stop and change. Uh, True change really only comes about when both parties are amendable to it. That's that's the thing. You can scream and yell all you want at someone, but as long as the person you're yelling at has no desire to change themselves, has no desire to open their mind and consider another's point of view, there's no there's no changing them. There's no way in any sort of hell that is going to happen. And constantly doing that and constantly feeding into that cycle of negativity and anger, it builds it all up and just causes all kinds of extra conflicts and extra problems for everybody. So I think both sides need to calm down. Both sides need to open their mind a little bit more and basically kind of try and look at things from the other point of view now and then, just as a start, just as a start to do that. Um, yeah, the whole and going back just a little bit, because I really have to mention this with the expo here in town and that panel that got hijacked that I mentioned. Um, that kind of bothered me. on not only on a personal level because it happened where I'm living, but it bothered me as someone who identifies in a way. I mean, I've always considered myself a bit of a nerd, a geek, what have you. I've always liked video games. I've liked comics. I've liked superheroes, Ninja Turtles, Sailor Moon, all that good stuff. Books. I'm a huge book lover. Role-playing games, D&D, all of that. I was always into all of that. Have been since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. And to see others in that same community acting in such a way, in this way, it really bothered me because I mean, not just because these are people that are kind of like people that I can see myself as being kin to in a way. It's not only that, but it's also the fact of, and this may seem a little bit, how to put this, a little bit petty when I put it this way, but it really kind of strikes to the point of the issue that I'm making here. When they did this, when they hijacked this panel and whatnot, they are well within their constitutional rights. There's free speech. Um, this is Canada. We are a free country. Free speech is, of course, a thing. Absolutely. I don't deny them that. But the thing is, when you go to these comic expos, there are people they put a lot of work into putting on these panels for people. Um, they come up with what they want to say. They come up with format. They not only pay to be exhibitioners there, but they go through the application process to get a panel approved, get it set up. It's a lot of time and effort and money that these people put into this. And then you have the people that attend the expo, that go to these panels. They spend their money to go here, possibly even to travel from other places to go to this convention. They take away their time from their normal lives to come to the convention. So there's time and money and effort here because not only are they going here, but to go to these panels, they're sometimes a half hour, sometimes an hour. Usually, I think about an hour long. That's a chunk of the expo that they're deciding to spend in this room listening to the people that are putting it on. It's something that interests them. So when anybody comes in and hijacks a panel like that, or isn't respectful of who's putting this on, what you're basically doing and saying is that all the time that these people have put into putting this panel on, and all the time and effort the people who are attending the panel are taking out of their lives to do this, all of this, you're saying that that isn't worth anything. You're saying that what you have to say is worth more than what they have to say. You're saying that their time, their money, their effort, all of that isn't worth anything. You're completely disrespecting it, and that right there gets to the heart of the argument because there always needs to be respect. You see, a lot of people say that respect is something that you earn, and yeah, it is. Respect is definitely something you earn, but it's also something you have to extend. See, if you don't extend respect to other people, if you don't give them that first opportunity, and this is my own opinion, but if you don't give them that first opportunity to basically slap you in the face, to disrespect you, if you don't give them that opportunity, then how can you expect anybody else to extend respect to you? It's common courtesy, basically. Um, So yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a downer here, I guess you could say. Uh, my screen keeps going black on me um, because I'm talking for quite a time. But yeah, that's kind of what it is. You need to offer that respect. Now, if if the situations had been reversed in that effect, if these people, this lady who is a men's rights activist and others who believe the same as she does, uh, put in the time and the effort, got a panel approved, and some of the other people who were here went in and hijacked their panel, I would feel the same way because it's the same thing. If you if you do that, it doesn't matter what you want to talk about, what your message is. I mean, it's freedom of speech as long as you're not physically hurting people, as long as you're not like physically, emotionally, verbally abusing people, breaking the law, that sort of thing. Free speech covers a lot. So if you want to have a message, if you want to have a media or a medium in which to get this message out there, that's your choice. That's your effort. If you've got a panel, you want to speak at it, people want to come and listen to you talk, fine, go right ahead. That that's great. That's free speech in action. But you don't try and disrupt other people from having this, from having this free speech, because then you're stifling free speech, and that I can't get behind. But that's all the horrible serious business that I had here to talk about. There's a few other things I want to talk about too. Let's get into a couple of television shows. I saw some of the trailers for Jessica Jones coming out here in November, I believe, and it looks fantastic and amazing. I am extremely looking forward to it. I've seen a couple of videos on who Jessica Jones actually is and some of the backstory, and it's pretty dark. So I'm kind of wondering what Netflix is going to do there. Probably leave a lot of the darker stuff to implications. So that could be kind of, it could be very interesting. Uh, I've liked Daredevil. If you haven't seen it, go check out my binge watch, where I binge watch all of that and give you my immediate impressions of it. I enjoyed the heck out of that. I've been enjoying the heck out of Gotham as well. I ended up here. I've been PVRing the second season of it, and ended up binge watching. Well, not exactly binge watching. I think I had 6 episodes left of the first season when it came out on DVD, so I watched all of them and then watched the first 3 episodes that I had PVR'd and of the second season, and things are looking really interesting. Really interesting. I also heard that apparently they're getting Paul Rubin back to play Penguin's father, which made me chuckle because he played Penguin's father in Batman Returns. For those of you who don't know, Paul Rubin used to be a children's show host called Pee Wee Herman, was his stage name there in the show, Pee Wee's Playhouse. And it was on for years and years. I used to watch it when I was a kid. It was delightfully zany back then. And he ended up falling from grace because of I believe he was caught publicly masturbating. But hey, it was in I believe a movie theater that was showing adult movies. So whatever, to each their own. But he's had a few roles on and off since then, and one of them after that was the fact that uh, he had a small cameo in Batman Returns right at the beginning as Penguin's father. So for them to get him back again, and he even looks kind of like Robin Lord Taylor, the new Penguin they have. That's kind of interesting. I'm enjoying it. And I hear Michael Chiklis is back. I haven't seen the latest episode, but apparently he's back as the new commissioner. And things are going to get interesting and rough and tough and tumble. So I'm looking forward to that. What else is there? Uh, Movies I want to see. I'm definitely going to be checking out The Martian soon. I've heard that is simply an amazing show all around. I mentioned Mad Max Fury Road. That's on my Blu-ray disc over there in the corner. Yep, that's the right direction. It's over there, and I'm looking forward to checking that out when I get some time. I'm thinking of possibly doing a, if I can manage, rewatching the seven Saw movies because I've got all of them and I'm a huge fan of them. It's been a while since I've watched them. I'm thinking of rewatching them, maybe doing a binge watch of the Saw movies, even though I've seen them already. It would kind of be a binge rewatch, if you will. So I don't know. I don't know. That might be something I'll do here in this later this week or early next week, or even on the weekend if I can manage to. We shall see. I'm also going to be doing some more horror movies for big and small screens. Some more obscure horror movies. I've been trying to do stuff that not everybody and their mother knows, especially when it comes to big and small screens, and even you should be reading. I like to do things that not everybody may have read. It's kind of my way of going, hey, this thing exists. You know, you might like it. So yeah, those are some of the movies that I'm interested in checking out. What else have I been doing? I've been currently reading The Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham. Um, I've also got The Chrysalids. I read that back in high school. I'm looking forward to reading it again, but right now I'm reading The Day of the Triffids. Once I finish that, I'm going to be going on to some L.E. Modesitt Jr. books that I have. I finally managed to get all four of the Empire. I've got like, what is it? I think it's the Ecolitan saga, or the Ecolitan. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. There was four books in the series, and I had two of them, and I just recently managed to grab the last two I needed for it. I've only got with the books he's got coming out soon, forthcoming books that have either been just in hardback, hardcover, or haven't been released yet. Just with those ones, counting those ones, I only need 8 or 9, I think it's 9 more books, and I will have everything that he's put out. In case you can't tell, I'm a fan. He is one of my all-time favorite authors. He is somebody I would love to meet in person. I hope one day he comes to Calgary so I can check him out, or if I happen to travel down the States to one of his particular conventions, the few that he attends, I might get to meet him. I'd really like to. I really would. But yes, I'm going to be reading those Empire and Ecolitan, whatever it happens to be. I'll be checking those ones out very soon. And those ones are the ones that I'm just read. Done. I just read through them. They're thick books. There's a lot to them. I also have The Shepherd's Crown by Terry Pratchett, the last Discworld novel. And that's a bit bittersweet for me. I was quite emotional when I heard about his passing back in March. He is an author I have enjoyed immensely over the years, and now that I have the final Discworld book, that I kind of don't want to read it. I mean, I'm going to read it, but I'm not really in a hurry to, because then it means there's no new Discworld books for me to read. I will have read them all, and that is a sad thing. It is one of the best fantasy series out there, and the best satire series out there, because it literally holds up a mirror to us as people and shows us how horrible we can be. Shows the darkness in us all in a very absurd manners, where you can't help but look at it and kind of be like, yeah, that is crazy. Why do we do that? And I have my suspicions about what happens in the Shepherd's Crown, and that makes me sad as well as to what's coming. But I'll be reading it eventually. So there is that. What else is there? Yes. Over in my Pravi's wheelhouse, I finished playing Portal Stories Mel. I absolutely loved it. It's a free download on Steam. You need to have Portal 2 though in order to play it, because it uses those assets and physics and whatnot. But it is a fantastic little story contained in and of itself. Very decent, even good voice acting. Um, Good story, nice little narrative, and it connects Portal 1 to Portal 2. It's kind of a bridge in the gap there, so that's really neat. And the puzzles, oh, the puzzles. I actually had to go and look up how to beat a couple of the rooms. Not all of them, just a couple. Um, though the ones that I didn't have to look out that were still challenging did take me a little while. One of which I literally was running around in it for like an hour trying to figure it out before it just went, oh, duh, that's how you do it. So that's a good one to check out. Finding Teddy 2, that is another really good one. I've been playing some of that, even though I've only got the one video up on my Pravi's Wheelhouse show. I've played some more of it. A lot of it was just me running around to places I've already been, so it's kind of it didn't really work for being able to get to anywhere new and whatnot. It's a very Metroidvania game where you've got to backtrack through places you've been once you get the new power-ups that let you get to new places and do all that fun stuff. So I'm really liking it though. The language as music, where you have a glossary of terms and what notes you have to hit to make them, it it's really interesting. I like that particular game mechanic. It's fun. It makes you really think, and that's good. The one that's really got me thinking though is the Stanley Parable. I finally got around to playing that. I put up a new video of it on my. It's the latest in the Pravi's Wheelhouse one, and it is bizarre and kind of a mind fuck in a way. Pardon my language, but it really is. I just it messed with my head in ways I didn't expect it to, and even after I finished playing it that day, I couldn't get it out of my head. I wanted to get right back in and be like, well, what would happen if I went here? What would happen if I went here? What would happen if I do this and do that? I wanted to check out everything that was there. So it was really really interesting, and I'm interested to check out the beginner's guide, which is the second game by the same people, and that looks interesting. I've heard I saw the review sort of that Matt Lees did, where he basically was all, yeah, it's I can't tell you anything about this game or how it affected me, but it did affect me, and you should go play it. That was basically all the review boiled down to. And that sort of that sort of a review really makes me think, makes me go, okay, this has to be a decent game, because wow, that's amazing. Uh, yeah, I couldn't believe how deep it is, how deep the Stanley Parable is. Um, it it surprised me. It uses not only game mechanics and the narrative that it's weaving, but also it takes both of those things and really makes you think about choice versus free will, and do any of your choices actually matter if it all comes out to the same thing in the end. Um, it's really amazing, and I'm pretty sure there's an ending where it doesn't come out the same way in the end, which makes me want to go back and play it more. So there is that. Then you've got the Batman there, Arkham Knight that's been out. I don't have that yet. All I've got is Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, which I've both played and beaten. Really good games. I have Arkham Origins for the PS3, but I didn't really play too much of it. I got playing a bit of it, and it didn't feel the same to me. Now I know it's a different studio that was doing it, but it didn't feel the same. It didn't grab me the same way that Arkham Asylum and Arkham City did. Those games just grabbed a hold of me within the first 30 minutes of gameplay, and this one really, it really didn't. It didn't. It didn't. It seemed to be just like, okay, here's Batman, throw him into the thick of things. There was no lead up, no build up to it all, which really makes the game kind of fall short. Plus, I've heard there's like game breaking glitches that they still haven't fixed yet. Maybe, I don't know. It's kind of weird. But Arkham Knight, I'm definitely interested in checking out once they get some stuff figured out and fixed up. Uh, I believe it's for the PS4, anyways. I don't think it's for the PS3, but I'll have to look into that. I haven't really been, chomping at the pit to go buy new games lately. Well, what else? Is there anything else to really talk about? I don't think so. I mean, I've got a couple of tabletop games that I'm currently playing. One of which I've got a Mage, the Ascension campaign that I'm running, and I've got a Vampire the Masquerade game that I'm a player in, and those are kind of fun, but that's just kind of boring stuff that I don't think you guys really want to hear about. Or if you do, let me know and I'll talk about them some in the next one. I would like to bring up just briefly before I go, Pugmire. Now, Pugmire is a game by Onyx Path Publishing, the World of Darkness group. It used to be White Wolf, I believe they're now Onyx Path for the classic ones. And it's basically a game where you play dogs. Dogs have inherited the earth and they're like anthropomorphic dogs. They literally look like dogs. They just have, hands and feet and bodies more like people, but dogs. And it's kind of like a sword and sorcery fantasy thing in a post-apocalyptic world. And the kingdom of the dogs is ruled by the code of man, one of the tenets of which is be a good dog. The whole thing just looks charming and lovely, and I cannot wait for it to come out because I will be buying that book and I will be reading it and just wanting to start up a game of it because Pugmire, I mean, it's fantastic. The whole concept is fantastic. Yeah. But I don't think there's anything else really that I have to talk about. I mean, I could ramble on about 50 billion different things, but I don't want this video to be too long. So I'm going to wrap things up here. This is just something new I'm trying, as I said, poking my hand at maybe doing a bit of the podcast. Maybe I can get somebody to join me for the podcast next time and maybe have a bit of actual discussion about things. Who knows? Who knows? But uh, until next time, I will see all you people later. You guys have a good day. If you like my shows or any of what I'm doing here, feel free to tap on that subscribe button, tap on the like button for any videos that you like. It would really help me out. You can check out my Facebook page over at the Facebook. The little icons over here, yeah, over here, they would be. There's an icon for my Facebook page, an icon for my Twitter, for my Tumblr blog, where I also post my videos and other things and whatnot. You can check out any of them if you like. I've also got a link over there for my Patreon page. If you would like to possibly toss $1 or something my way, it's up to you. I'm not really pushing for it. It's all up to you. But yeah, check out those things. If you have any suggestions, if you have any comments or concerns, feel free to throw them in the comments of any of my videos, or toss them up on my Facebook page. I think I have comments allowed for that. Yeah, throw me a message on Twitter. Even throw me a message to my email address, which is U, the letter U, dot should, dot letter B, dot reading, you should be reading, dot, or at gmail.com. That can also be found, I believe, somewhere down here. So you can throw me emails there if you've got any comments, any questions, concerns. If there's something you'd like me to see or talk about, go right ahead. There's no guarantee. I'm not making any promises. But I'm always on the lookout for new authors, for new movies, new games, anything like that. I'm always looking for things that are interesting. So if you've got anything, feel free. And yeah, if you like what I'm doing, please tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell the world if you want to. I don't mind at all. So yes, I will leave it there. This has been Depraved Indifference to Intelligent Life, my unapologetic podcast, and I will see you all next time, whenever that is. There's no real set schedule, just whenever. So we shall see. This might be a monthly thing. I don't know. We shall see. But until next time, you all take care. Have a good day, and as always, I have absolutely no way to sign this off. So just pretend I had a really cool sign off, and we'll go with that. All right? Okay. Glad to know you're with me on this. So, bye.